Hello, everybody. This is the Chocolate News Podcast. I'm your co-host, John Alexander Reese.
And I'm your co-host, Andria Carter.
And if you did not know, the Cincinnati Herald has been around since 1955 and is the leading African American owned newspaper in the greater Cincinnati area and northern Kentucky area. So, how's it going, Andrea?
It was going fine until my eye doctor dilated my eyes. It has been going great. He was like, "Oh, got to dilate the eyes." Next thing you know, he's putting these sunglasses on me to cover up so your eyes are sensitive to the sun.
Yeah,
It's wonderful to be out in the sun. The weather is fantastic, but
yeah.
not when your eyes are dilated. So I say to everybody, watch the eye doctor when they dilate your eyes. But anyway, everything everything's going fine other than that. So
Yeah, the air quality could be a little better though, but I think that's just because of those Canadian wildfires.
yeah, have you watched the video on that?
I know in New York, it's
Oh,
insane. Like, oh my goodness, because it was yesterday. Something was off with the air. I just couldn't put my I just couldn't figure out what. And then I read about it's because those Canadian wildfires is like this
mhm.
traveling down. But I saw the video from New York, and I was just like, wow, this. It's like I think the air quality there was like 300 or something, or
Yes.
some really high number. I'm not sure. I know the air quality yesterday in Cincinnati area was about 128, which was really bad.
Yes. I mean, the haze, I had sunglasses on and I had to take them off because it was getting like dark shade with the sunglasses on because the haze was so thick.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. New York alone, the traffic pattern
Oh
going
yeah.
through New York and traveling in New York, just the congestion alone
Yeah.
is just like, and you add that haze from the wildfires to it. Oh my God. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
But anyway, but I hope they get it out. They put it out soon.
No,
So,
yeah, me too. So Andrew, what's the chocolate news of the week?
well, it's been an interesting week, and I mean, we have to talk about our industry for a minute. The news industry is changing. Everyone's adapting to the digital landscape. Everyone's talking about AI. Everyone's trying to shore up what they do in broadcasting, ad revenue. What content do you give, and your what is your reputation? What is your brand doing?
Yeah.
Well, Chris Litt was hired a year ago by CNN to bring, strong journalism, i.e., back to CNN.
Right. Make it more conservative.
Make it more conservative, make it more, less woke esque, so to speak, which I didn't think they were all that much. But anyway, CNN has always had a good product, whether it was breaking news, international news, things like that. Well, Chris Litt, he was making changes, firing people, letting a number of known folks go. And then Trump occurred and the Trump town hall. And not only did it not, he lied all over the place, Trump did, but the reaction to that has the backlash has been so huge that as of this morning, Chris Litt is gone from CNN.
Mm,
And I think there were rumor articles earlier in the week about what was going to happen. What was the CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery going to do? Because Lit answers to Zaslow,
yeah,
I believe,
Zaslav, yep.
Zaslow. And I was just like, if the revenue went down, the numbers are going down, and we're supposed to shore them up. That's not good in your first year. You have a honeymoon period, then you start getting to work and building up. But he was tearing down, building up at the same time. But I think he tore down too much. And he thought, and probably in the back of mind, the strategy is let's go more conservative to get those folks from, because Fox News is in a downward spiral in itself.
Yeah.
But he went about it the wrong way.
Yes, he
And
did.
and to give Trump that town hall, I think did a disservice not only to CNN, whose reputation was much better than Fox News.
Yeah.
I mean, the CNN's reputation has always been there with MSNBC, NBC, ABC, all of them. But with Trump's town hall, unfortunately, he ruined the reputation. He did he the he discredited their journalism ability because they allowed so many lives, even though they tried to check them quickly. Too much came out that it was just too much.
Oh yeah.
So, and that hurt him. And I know he was trying to, he didn't speak with a lot of anchors. A lot of anchors were saying that I've never talked to him. He's never discussed to me what he wanted to do. I'm just afraid, where the next block is going to drop and all that type of stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to be returned to CNN, what they're going to do next, and who's going to be in charge. And there was some speculation between two female producers who each are very good in their own right. One is more like she'll wear you down, but she's very good at her job. Another person is she likes everybody, but she's also good. So it depends on what heavy hand they're going to take with CNN to bring it back to its former glory.
Yeah,
So there's that.
whoever gets that job, I do not envy them because, in my mind, I know CNN is trying to go more conservative, but here's the thing: conservatives already think CNN is fake news, and those people from Fox News who are leaving Fox News, they're just going to go on the more right-wing news like Daily Wire, Blaze, One American News Network, Newsmax. I can't believe I know all those right-wing.
Breitbart.
Yeah, Breitbart.
The
Oh
what's that
God.
one down? One America? Not One America. The other one. Newsmax.
Yeah, Newsmax,
Which has its own channel now.
yeah, louder
Which is
than
scary.
Crowder. I can't believe I know all these, but I have to.
Yeah,
Just to say,
I can't name them all,
yeah,
but it's just like, oh my God, what's happening?
yeah. So CNN
Um,
is definitely in an interesting situation.
I I think that they should have stuck with what they know best, which is breaking news,
Yeah,
issues, documentaries, and then they need to create some talk show formats that captures the attention. So we'll see what happens
yeah,
with that.
definitely.
Also in the news, we had a couple of active, well, I can't say well, one is in sort of a scholarly activist, and the other one is a vice president trying to save his reputation. Can I say that? I
Yeah,
think I
I
can
think you
say.
can say that.
Can
Yeah,
I say that?
yeah.
So I'll go with the bigger. I mean, who's the bigger star, Cornel West or Mike Pence?
I would say Mike Pence. I mean, to be fair, I even though I do not like Mike Pence like at all, it's like at least he's somebody. Like Dr. Cornel West, he was somebody at one point,
Yes.
but I have not heard anything from Dr. Cornel West in ages.
Yeah.
So when
He
he made that announcement, I'm just like, oh yeah, okay, cool, I
Yeah,
guess.
I mean, he wrote those books back in the 90s and early 2000s and rapped some and things like that. And he had his battle with throat cancer and he won and, all that good stuff. And he's with Harvard and,
Yeah,
all that stuff. But presidential material,
no,
no. He's
no.
scholarly president material
Oh yeah.
to go that way. I know he said he wants to it's a presidential run. His intention is to run for pursuit of truth and justice, emphasizing that the presidency serves as a means to achieve these noble ideals.
Okay, good luck with that.
Yeah, you know what? I have a Superman costume that you can wear. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't say Superman. That's dating me. Let me go with I have a Marvel costume that you can wear. Pick one. They all have the same ideals. They get the
uh,
job done. Just
uh,
who do you want to be? Do you want to
yeah.
fly? Do you want to be small? Do you want to have superpowers to make the sky move, or have an arrow to shoot through through the heart? Whatever you want to do, or carry a big hammer and throw it. We got you covered. On the other hand, Mike Pence, he irritates me. And
Yeah.
my thing is we can bring this country back. Now, back from what? That's what I have an issue with. Everyone says we can make this country great again. We can bring America back. We can do this. We need to go. back from what? America is still the best fighting institution on the planet. We have the best monetary institution on the planet. Our education system sucks
Yeah.
royally, but we still were not in the toilet. We're probably
Yeah.
mid grade. We've
Yeah.
dropped some, but we're still there. Our colleges still have a wonderful reputation. Whether you're high end or middle of the road, you still can get a degree and do something. It's fantastic. What are we coming back from? Is it make America come back from being less brown? Is that what they're coming back from? I don't understand. What does that mean? I need someone to explain it to me. And I'm sure some people out there are like, Andrew, you're so naive. No, I'm not. I'm about what are you running for and what reality are you living in running for? Because in my reality, I have a hard time paying my bills.
Yeah.
I have a decent roof over my head. I have a landlord has not gone crazy with the rent, thank God. Knock on wood for that. My dream of still owning some property is still out there and I'm still chasing it. I still have some years left before I retire and I'm trying to pull that together. I can still pursue some part of the American dream and be happy. Why do we have to bring America back? I don't understand those phrases.
Well,
Nikki,
they mean make America great again for white people. So, or like how it was in the 50s where, where women didn't have to work, men,
but you know
yeah.
what?
Well,
Women worked in the 50s.
well,
They
that
were
well, yeah, okay. Well, I'm thinking about the advertiser. Well,
oh
yes, that I'm talking about like what are I guess what I'm trying to say is the rose-colored nostalgia goggles that some
mm,
people think that the 50s were. I'm sorry.
oh
That's what I meant to say.
the advertised American dream
Yes, yes.
of where
That
there's
that
the
that
housewife, the 2.0 children, the dog, the picket fence, the dream house, and the man goes off and works and
yeah,
makes all
which
the
which
decisions.
some people actually think that existed, because
It
whenever people talk about the 50s, they talk about that. I said that wasn't what the 50s was really like, but okay, sure.
no, the 50s were recovering from a war, going into another war, the development of rock and roll, going from, well, no, we didn't go from the gold system until the 70s because that was Nixon. We were still on the gold system. That was the foundation of our monetary system at that time. But we were still a military might. We were still building up. We were recovering from World War II. Then we had the Korean War, then we had the Vietnam War. So we had war. Then we had the 60s and everything changed because everyone was, throwing their hand up against authority. We had the civil rights movement. We had a lot of lawsuits that upheld the rights of Black people. And I'm paraphrasing the decades real quickly. But, America has never been bad. America has never been in the toilet. I mean, everyone has their ideal America, but America is founded on being different, founded with people being different.
Yeah,
Difference is part of difference is part of our society, just like guns are.
yeah.
But people are more accepting of the guns than the difference, and
Well,
that's the
no, it's
problem.
like people are not really accepting of immigration, even legal immigration. Like there's always been pushbacks against people immigrating to this country.
I hate to say this, but
Italians pushback from that, Irish pushback from that, you
the
know.
Jews,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
Germans.
Yeah,
But you know
exactly.
what? Everyone has been an immigrant or has an immigrant in their family until you're born here.
Yeah.
We all have an immigrant story. Even the slaves who were brought here were immigrants, but they were enslaved immigrants, if you want
Yeah.
to take it that far.
Right.
And I know some people will be upset with me because I said that. Oh my God. But anyway, but at some point, America has to sit down and accept we are a melting pot. We are a world of difference. We accept change. Now, some people will not accept certain differences if we bear down, you know. Some people don't accept the LGBT community or the mental health or autism. If we get into the weeds, then we have
Yeah.
these different silos. But overall, the differences is what makes America great, is what makes us who we are and why we stand up to everybody else, because we accept those differences even when we argue. It just irritates me.
Oh
So
yeah.
and I know I'm going to have to temper myself watching the news, watching the different town halls, because I don't want to destroy my TV, so, or my laptop or my tablet, because it's going to irritate me. Either I see it, hear it, or read it. So it's just, they need to find a better phrase.
Yeah.
Just irritating me. That being said, on the national stage, another national story that has caught my attention was the unfortunate shooting of the mother who was shot by her neighbor because she was confronting her neighbor over a stolen iPad.
So sad.
It's sad, because this is the same situation of when the teenager who went to the man's house by accident to pick up his brothers and sisters and he got shot.
Yeah.
When did America become fearful, more of a coward than ever before? When do we become the cowards of the world? Because this is what it comes down to. When did we become cowards? When have we let our fear rule our lives to make this happen?
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, they didn't confront them; they just shot them through the door. This mother of four is dead because she went to defend her child over a wrong that was done to her child, and that neighbor, instead of admitting the wrong, shot the door. Then claimed that she was trying to break down her door when witnesses said no, she did not. And she tried to stand behind the stand your ground law, and come to find out she had no cause to have the standing ground law because she was not being threatened.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sad when we have these people who own guns, and not all gun owners are bad like this. I know responsible gun owners who do right by people, have permits, are trained, they know how to handle the weapons, they don't use their weapons in the emotional moment. I know those people. This, on the other hand, when you let your emotions rule what you do, you suffer the consequences. And this is what happened. Now, this woman did not have a very good reputation, this neighbor in the community. She threatened, I think you said in the earlier conversation, she threatened both Black and white kids playing in the street.
Mm.
Um, it was unfortunately, this woman did not have a very good reputation, who shot the neighbor.
Right.
I mean, I should say who shot the mother. I'm getting them mixed up. But I think I have to commend the sheriff, the Marion County Sheriff, Billy Woods, for doing his due diligence when he went out to the protesters and said, give the investigation a chance. Don't jump the gun too quick. And they proved the case.
Yeah.
And you have to commend him for doing his job. Not only listening to the protesters, but doing his job and finding that this woman, he's not going to defend this woman who did wrong, but, he's going to stand up for the woman who got shot, the victim and the victim's family, and find justice for those people. And I have to commend him for that. And, I know a lot of people like to down the police, but there are really a lot of good law enforcement officers out there who do their job and get it
Mm-hmm.
and prove it. And I think we have to just be careful when we protest. Don't go too far. Wait for results and then say something. I know, as a Black person, we're a little bit more sensitive to these situations, and we'll get out there and protest a lot more because we know what can happen rather than what did happen. So, but I'm just so sorry. I hope we don't have to do another story like this. I just hope.
Yeah. Let's hope the only story we hear about is her, thrown in jail for 30 years for manslaughter.
Yes, she needs to. Because I mean, really, truly, I would say her case, if she had opened the door, confronted the mother, then shot, then she could have stood behind stand your ground.
Right.
There would have been enough murkiness in that situation. But that situation didn't occur because she stood behind stood behind a locked door and fired a gun into the door, regardless of who was in. And what was sad is that the child was standing next to his mother.
Mm.
She could have killed the kid. That's another thing. Who was in the area? She didn't look, she didn't care. She didn't take precautions as a gun owner and do her due diligence. She just fired. So it's just sad. I'm just upset about that. But speaking of shootings, Cincinnati is going through a little situation with gun violence. It has, with the weather getting warmer, the summer here, things have sped up. Over this past weekend, we had a number of shootings. We had shootings twice in East Price Hill. We had a shooting in Avondale. We had a shooting in Winton Hills. And then we had a couple other shootings. We had a shooting in West End. Even today, as we're recording, there were 2 more shootings in the West End. Actually, they happened across the street from each other. One was a coincidence. One was another situation where a guy got shot in the Parktown Apartments and ran to the fire department for help. And then a maintenance facility worker for City West walked into a vacant apartment to just check it, found people in it, and instead of confronting for safety reasons, he was trying to get out of the apartment, and the individual in the apartment shot him. They're now searching for, and unfortunately, that individual is a teenager who was, trespassing in the apartment to begin with, and it's unfortunate that had occurred, and that luckily that guy who got shot, the maintenance worker who got shot, he did get shot in his buttocks, which has caused his colon issues, unfortunately.
Oh no.
Oh yes. So it has I do know, because as a problem solver on safety issues worker, besides doing this podcast, I do know for the fact that the staff at City West were shaken up. They're very concerned. They're very upset because this has never happened before on the property. Never, ever. So, and it's a warning that there might be, some people fear that there is a trend going on right now in the city where young people who don't want to do something, but out of the prying eyes away from those in the community and the police, that they're now finding vacant apartments and breaking the doors or breaking the locks and getting into those apartments to do what they want to do. And I look at this 2 different ways. One, the work that the police are doing, that the problem solvers and the gun violence interrupters are doing, is working, because the young people who are involved in all this are trying to hide what they do, because they know that their activities are being clamped down on. So even though this is a bad trend, it is also a good trend, because what we are doing, working with the police and working with the community, it's working. The moral voice of the city is stepping up and letting them know, you are not going to do this here. We just need more people stepping up to the plate and speak up and let them know in the neighborhood that bad behavior should not be, you can't do that anymore. You have to stop. We don't have enough of that yet, but we're getting there. The fact that the teens are doing this is letting us know that the pressure is they're feeling the pressure of that weight. So, but unfortunately, the city is very upset with the recent shootings. They're looking for solutions. They're looking for answers. It's good for the city officials to be upset, but I think at the same time, they need to temper what they do and temper their response, because the people on the ground who are handling it are doing their job. This is an election year. Voters want a quick fix. We didn't get into this situation quickly, and we're not going to get out of it quickly. There's a lot of factors involved in this situation. One, guns are coming into the community. Guns are being stolen from gun owners who keep their guns in their car and not locking them up properly or put a gun lock on them. Guns are being hidden in the community and passed around. more than likely there could be on occasion, police could pick up a gun and it could be, once it's tested and found, it could be involved in a number of cases that have occurred. So you have to be careful about that. And I think too, also, there's societal factors that have pushed individuals into this state for a reason, and they're not being addressed. We all want to help the poor. We all want the poor to get better jobs and work and live better. But at the same time, not everyone is getting the job done, or they're getting the job done, but it's staying at status quo. It's not affecting change. And on top of that, the young people who are doing the shooting, they have to be taught not to do it. They have to be taught to comprehend the situation and not pick up something that is easy instead of doing what is hard, that is confronting, arguing, and then finding a solution, good or bad.
Mm.
They're not being taught how to argue. They're just being taught, do what's easy. And that's parenting.
Yeah.
Kids are not being parented correctly anymore. Even if is there a correct way to parent? But if you and I were parented and we're not picking up a gun to resolve our issues, I think everyone else can learn to do that too.
Exactly.
So that's it's an unfortunate topic that we're going to have to talk about some more in Cincinnati. And I know that we are known as a paper that, we talk about issues and policy and good news, but we're going to have to touch on the harder areas as well. We'll probably be doing more of that as time goes on. That's the unfortunate part of the chocolate news. And I mean, in Evanston, there was a shooting on Newton Street. Newton is not known for shootings. Newton is this small, quiet street that's off of Dana that people pass through. And, it's a quiet street. Nothing happens on that street.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the other night, something happened. It's kind of sad that it occurred. No one was injured, but shots were fired. And it's kind of sad.
Very sad.
It's very, very sad. But that being said, let's move on to the best part of the chocolate news of today. One is D. Alexander has been selected to the USA basketball's U16 national team.
Congrats to her.
Congratulations. It's D is one of Purcell Marion's top girls basketball players. The fact that she's been appointed to a national team, that is awesome. I think it's fantastic. And one go girl power on the court, girl power.
Oh yeah.
And I hope we see more of her as she goes through and plays. She's also been named the 2023 Ohio Miss Basketball, which I think I didn't even know there was such a thing. So fantastic.
I did not know either.
Congratulations on that too as well. I think Purcell Marion, they have a very good basketball team.
They do. They won state, and and D. Alexander, I think she's only a sophomore too.
I think so.
That's even more impressive.
I mean, I can't wait to see. I'm just gonna have to start going to high school basketball games.
Mm-hmm.
Because the talent on the court is unbelievable, and then to see that talent go from local talent to college and see what they could do on the college level before they try national is going to be fantastic.
Oh yeah.
So and then finally, the Fringe Festival has started in Cincinnati. The 20th annual Cincinnati Fringe Festival is going on right now through June 17th. It's a 14-day celebration featuring hundreds of live performances from independent, local, and national and international artists. I think it's the best Cincinnati summer theater party that is in the area, that brings together all the different genres of art to showcase. And I think it's wonderful, and I hope everyone has a good time to attend the Fringe Festival, because I mean, this is this the first of all the festivals that happen in Cincinnati? Is this the kickoff? Other,
Possibly, I think so.
well, I mean, I should say on a smaller scale, because I mean, we had Taste of Cincinnati,
Right,
and but then we have Taste of Cincinnati launches it, then we have the music festival, and then eventually we have Oktoberfest. But I mean, the smaller festivals that occur in the city down in OTR or at Sawyer Point or on Smile Park, all those smaller venues that
right.
occur. We have such a wonderful musical, what am I thinking of the word? Um, Roller coaster during the summer. I
Yeah.
can't wait to see what happens next and who comes. So get out there, enjoy the music and the art of Cincinnati, and just have a great summer. And that is the chocolate news for today.
All right. Well, thank you, Andrea. So that's it for today's show. And I just want to thank Andrea again for all the chocolate news. It's always appreciated.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I mean, there's such good things happening and going on in Cincinnati and around the world that we just need to showcase them and talk about it. And it's a great weekend, except for my eyes being dilated, but it's been a great week so far.
Yeah. And remember, folks, you can find more information about today's topics and past podcast episodes at www.thecincinnatiherald.com, the SES newsletter, or on our social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And make sure to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast app. Our podcast is on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, Amazon, YouTube, and Google Podcasts. In addition, the Cincinnati Herald is now accepting applications for an advertising representative. Please contact our publisher, Walter White, at 513-680-7076 for more information. I'm John Alexander Reese.
And I'm Andria Carter.
And have a good day.